There, that to there. There we go. There it is. There we are. All right. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope you all have had a nice weekend. I know my weekend has been very nice. Got to spend some time with some friends. And then early in the morning, we got here this morning, took a nice nap this morning. And then we had to get up and get moving and grooving. So, all right. So before we jump into anything here, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to be decent in the chat, no racism, no nastiness, and we will have a fantastic chat. Um, it was a beautiful weekend. I got my wood stove installed. Oh, that's awesome, Alexandria. I'm glad to hear that. I'll tell you what, that when you get that type of thing done is a fantastic feeling. Fantastic feeling. So again, well, before we get any further, hold on. We'll do a salute. JJ, how about them Cowboys? Huh? He sends me a message. He says, "Go Vikings." Yeah, they won all right. Went right to sleep. Cowboys put them right to sleep. So, all right. Um, so just be decent to each other. If you can't be decent, then those awesome people in lit up in blue with the wrenches will boot you out of here. So we will have. Hopefully, I just want to have a good chat. We'll have a good discussion here tonight, and we will go from there. Better stock up on Labatt's while you're in there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to get some more to take down with me. The Eagles squeaked out a win. That was not really impressive. I know a win is a win, but yeah, the Eagles are not looking like a dominant team right now. And Giants got brought back down to earth, and after Thanksgiving, they'll even be brought back down to earth a little bit more. So anyway, all right, we're going to be talking about situation over with North Korea and the stuff that's going on over there. We're going to get into that in just a minute. But I got to tell you, so we had to go and we had to go and get groceries today, get ready for Thanksgiving, and yeah, Pollard was amazing. Yeah, he's playing very very well. But so we get to the grocery store, and it was busy, but it wasn't terrible busy. We got there 1 in the afternoon, so I'm sure as the day went on, it probably got worse. But here's something I want you guys to think about, okay? And this is what was my takeaway from grocery shopping today, other than the fact that it was like ridiculously expensive. We we get in line. Cashier was really decent, nice lady, and we were talking, and I was like, "Hey, this has been really busy." She goes, "Oh, yesterday," she goes, "it was way way busier. I went to Wegmans at Friday at 10 a.m. and it was absolutely unbearable." Yeah, well, we went to Wegmans today too, Bizzer is a Jizza, and it was like I said, it wasn't. I mean, there was a lot of people in there. It wasn't like crazy, overwhelmingly busy, but it was busy enough. But she had said that the day before was much much busier. What she also said was what a-holes a lot of people were. Just she goes, you'd think that the holiday Thanksgiving would bring out people being decent and stuff like that. She goes, that's not the case. She says people were jerks, and it was just, it's very sad actually, in my opinion, because it takes just as much time to be decent does as it does to be a jerk. And I don't understand why, you know, because somebody works as a waiter, a waitress, a cashier, somebody in the service industry, that people feel like they can talk down to them, belittle them, be nasty, be short with them, think that they're like a subhuman being. And I don't get, or have that entitled attitude. So it just, I don't get it. I really just don't get it. But anyway, so I said, well, I said, we're not going to be mean to you because that's not who we are. And she goes, well, thank you. I appreciate that. But it was, like I said, very, very busy. So we got our grocery shop on and we're ready to go for Thanksgiving. And it's funny, and I got to tell you this because if you asked, the information will be exactly the same as what I'm going to give it to you. My sister is an excellent cook. She's a fantastic cook, and you would think, wow, that's great. Did she learn from her mom? No, my mother could burn boiling water. My mother is not a cook at all, and she will be the first one to tell you that she is not a cook at all. Never has been, never will be. I mean, it's just that's just the way it is. We learned really early on to do a lot of fending for ourselves, but Becky learned a lot from my grandmother. My grandmother taught her quite a bit as far as cooking goes, and just Becky's an excellent cook, and so that's a really good thing. But oh, I see. Okay. There was like a flicker, and I was like, what was that? And I hear now they just turn a generator on. So, but anyway, so Becky obviously will be cooking for Thanksgiving. And so, have, come here, honey. Hold on 1 second. Come on and say hi real quick. Um, what was the generator down to? 23.7. Or 20. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's not good. So here is Miss Heather. So, yes, we got out and got our shop on today, which was fun. And,
well, our grocery shop on.
Well, yeah, the grocery shop. I love grocery shopping though. So now Becky's been teaching you with cooking and stuff like that, hasn't she?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, she got to pass it on, right?
Yeah, so someone's gonna know.
Right, right. Yeah. All right. Well,
Stella's under your bed.
I know she is. She's being quite the snot. It's so fun. She's a funny cat. Very standoffish cat. She loves. Heather, what's your favorite drink to make?
I guess basically we're friends now, but I have a girl that comes in the bar and always gets a Long Island iced tea. Excuse me. And she has a very particular way that she likes it. So much so that if another bartender makes it, she'll be like, hey, like, can you actually make this for me? I don't want the one they made. Like, she only wants it made by me.
That's cool.
So knowing that, like, somebody likes my drinks that much, they only want me to do it, that makes it my favorite.
So I'm going to ask for people here that probably will ask in the comments. So how is the job going? How do you like bartending?
I absolutely love it. It's something that I just happen to be really well suited for. I'm a really good people person, and a lot of it is like pretty much waitressing because we also serve food. So I'm good at like smiling and being like, hey, what can I get you guys today? Like, what do you want to drink? And it's a fun job. You never know who's going to come in. And now that I'm 21, I can take shots with people.
hopefully not too much.
No. But that's fun. Just being able to connect with people and talk.
Yeah.
And the tips are certainly nice.
Yeah, it's nice having money in your pocket every day. Yeah, I look back to when I used to work as a waiter, and I worked at Olive Garden in North Carolina, and I came back to New York, and I actually worked at Red Lobster up in Rochester. And I'll tell you what, going home every day with money in your pocket is a really, really nice thing. So.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right, sweetie. Well, I'll let you do your thing, and I will do the stream, and I will talk to you later.
Sounds good. And goodbye, everybody.
All right. So what do we got? 369 in the chat, guys. We're at 117 thumbs up. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you please do that to show support for the channel, and thank you very much ahead of time. Also, it really does make a huge, huge difference with the algorithms, and so I would ask you to do it for that reason as well. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So I got to show you guys something. All right. So first, I'm going to tell you what the temperature. We're going to get into the topic here in just a second, guys. But I want to look at the temperature, and I'm going to tell you what the temperature is right now outside. As soon as this does this. All right, so right now it's 18 degrees outside here. All right, and so I got to show you. I'm going to turn this real quick so you guys can see. Here's my window, and I have it wide open. So why is my window wide open? This window's open. There's a window on the other end that's open. Uh, it the wood stove that we have, it kicks out some serious heat, and it is. And when I do this live stream, I have the light like right here, and it gets really really hot as well. But it was really really warm when I woke up because I took my nap, of course, and I'm like, oh, I got to get this window open and get this cooled down because I was like ridiculously hot. But yeah, I mean, a lot of times in the wintertime, that's what we'll do. We'll have like if you go and watch some of the other videos, you would see I'd be doing a video in the kitchen or the kitchen area, and the window would be open behind me, and people would be like, what? So all right, so let's get into the topic a little bit. I know he's probably like, when's this dude? I was gonna say idiot, but when's this dude gonna actually start to talk about the topic? Um, all right, so we got the situation over there with North Korea, right? And so they just tested some missiles that have the capability of hitting the United States of America. So what do we do? Because there's threats, right? There's threats going back and forth, and this is what they've been doing for a while. So our response to that was a heavy, huge air presence flying close to the border, and it's just like it's a major pissing contest. But the only problem that you want to play your little games, both sides, not, it's just them. It's not us. Yes, we play games too, okay? The only problem that I see with that type of situation is if somebody does something stupid, it can go really sideways really, really quickly. Really sideways really, really quickly. I personally, and this is strictly my opinion, do I think North Korea is a threat? Absolutely not. I don't think North Korea is a threat at all. They're not, hopefully, like I said, hopefully they don't do anything stupid. But that's the only thing that could be something that could be really, really bad. I'll put it like this. What I think is a bigger threat than North Korea doing anything where they're launching missiles, say, either towards the United States or, Japan or South Korea, I think that there would be a higher probability of a dirty bomb being detonated somewhere in the United States. I think there would be a higher probability of that. North Korea is not going to go to war with the United States. For the reality of this, if they did something like that, they'd be wiped out. They would be wiped out, period. And that would be the end of story. It's not a matter of China backing them or anything like that. They would be done, if they got really, really stupid. But again, that possibility is always going to be there for one side or the other to take things too far. And yeah, North Korea would be a sheet of glass. I completely agree, Sonia. Um, the problem, we have too many countries with the capability of doing, yeah, my sword is bigger than your, yeah, thing. It's, well, yeah, it's like whip it out and see which one's bigger, and it's stupidity. It is stupidity. It's games. It's just like, look at, I'm going to show that, I'm standing up to, these guys. And uh look at the five carrier groups that set sail today. Yeah, well, you look at right now, the largest aircraft carrier out there right now, the Gerald Ford. The last I heard, it was docking in the UK. So where do you think that's going? We're putting chess pieces in place not only to check North Korea, but we're putting chess pieces in place to check China. Um, yes, carrier groups rotate regularly. Absolutely, they do. But we have, you know, we're upping our strengths in certain areas of the world as a show of force, as a deterrent. And what would that deterrent be? What do you think that might be, right? That Taiwan situation that we've been talking about forever and a day. Um, you know, at some point, do I believe that it is inevitable that China will go after Taiwan? I believe it's inevitable. I think that's going to happen. And what it's going to come down to is, what are we, the United States of America, going to do about that? You know, that's just, you look at, let, let's look at the situation right now with Russia and Ukraine. Okay. Russia went in there, they started it. They had all their reasons for why they said they started it, whatever the case may be, and there's a lot of rumors out there that, this is happening or that's happening. Hold on. Oh, I felt like I was going to sneeze. I could feel it in my nose. Um, I think when you have a country that, they're going to make up a reason to go in there and they're going to try to justify it. We've done it. Let's look at Iraq, right? Let's look at Iraq. Oh, Saddam Hussein, he's got weapons of mass destruction. We got to go in. We got to stop him. But what a lot of people don't remember. See, I'm old enough to remember certain things. There was a little war with Iraq in a country called Iran, if you guys remember. And you'll never guess what side we were on. Do you guys remember what side we were on? That we helped support them, give them supplies so that they could go in and do what they needed to do. Do you remember that? Yeah, it was us. We were the ones in the back door going, here's weapons and here's armaments and here's supplies. Because at the end of the day, who makes money off of these wars? Realistically, us. So I want you to I'll give you an example, right? So we approve $400 million in supplies, and that's just obviously just one example of the many millions and billions of dollars that we have now given to Ukraine, right? So the United States goes, okay, here's these weapons. They'll help you defeat Russia and blah blah blah. Who makes money off of that? Who makes money off of that, right? Every major arms maker in the United States is making a ton of money off of that. And we have right now, and I want you to think about this, guys, we have people over there right now going, wait a minute, where are some of these weapons? Where are some of these weapons that we are put over there? And there's like, they're not finding everything. Let's put it like this, everything is not accountable or is not accounted. That should be a huge concern for people because things that are not accounted for could be sold on the black market. They could be turned and used against us, right? Because, we have the best technology out there. So it's just, but it's always comes down to the end of the day. You think we give a crap about Ukraine? You think we give a crap about Russia? You really think we give a crap about China or anybody else? We just want to be number one, push our weight around the world, make all kinds of money that we can. So giving them all this armament and stuff like that, that still gets paid for. And guess who paid for it, folks? Guess who paid for it? We did. We did. It just it amazes me how this kind of cycle goes on and on and on. And it's not just Ukraine, but you look at if the United States of America decides these guys are the bad guys. We will justify it. We will go and we will do whatever we got to do to make sure that public opinion, so public opinion is huge. Public opinion is very, very big. So here's a question that I have for you guys. Okay, let's do this question, and we'll talk about 9/11 for a minute. And I'm not going to talk any conspiracy theories or anything that about 9/11. I'm not even going to open that can of worms. But we blamed that on Bin Laden. That was the justification for going into Afghanistan, right? So we had, we were already dealing with the situation with Iraq. Then we went in and we went after bin Laden in Afghanistan. But can somebody tell me? I think it was 13 people that were involved with that situation, terrorist. 13 terrorists, I believe, was the right number. It might be more, might be, I don't think it's less than that. But I know this, out of the 13, what country were 11, 19? Okay, out of the 19, what country were 11 of them from? I believe it was 11 of the 19. Yeah, you guys are smart, smart people. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia. 11 of them were from Saudi Arabia. Did we ever go after Saudi Arabia? Does that make any sense? Why would we not go, wait a minute? Most of these people that did this attack were from this country over here. But what do we do with Saudi Arabia? Well, they're a big oil producer and they're our friends, supposedly. We're not going to attack them. Crazy, guys, crazy if you think about it. So we go, and obviously there was a reason that we went into Afghanistan. And it wasn't just about opium, okay? It was not just about opium was a part of it because that's big business as well. Got to keep the heroin flowing, right? But what did we go? What were some of the things that we went after going into Afghanistan? Rare earth minerals, perhaps? Does that ring a bell to anybody? Afghanistan has a tremendous amount of minerals and stuff like that that we want. So you think we were just over there fighting and helping out the poor people and saving the day? How are those people doing now, 20 years later? How are those people doing now? Right? The regime is going to take back over, but they're not going to revert back and make the women cover themselves head to toe and all that, right? Isn't that exactly what's happening over there now? If I remember correctly, too, before we went in there, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know everything. I don't, there was some monuments that were carved into a mountain over in Afghanistan that were like ridiculously old. I mean, beautiful carvings from another, time when other people were in charge. And what did they do to those monuments? Do you guys remember that one? What did the Muslim people that were in charge over in Afghanistan at that time? This is before we went in there. What did they do to those monuments? Do you remember? Thank you, Randy Romines. Yes, they blew them up because there can't be anything else in their minds except for Allah and all that type of stuff. So you destroy history. Does that ring a bell of another government that wants to destroy history to change how history is viewed? I wonder what country that would be. I wonder what country that would be. And you use every tactic in the world, using every tactic in the world to justify, why are we doing that? Thank you very much, JMK 1425 hours. Exactly. So how are we erasing history? Well, Ed, what do you mean? How are we erasing history? Well, all these horrible racists from back in the day, all these, Civil War folks, the monuments and the towns and all, they have to go. They were a bunch of racists. They were horrible, horrible people. Now they want to Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, right? They all owned slaves back in the day, right? You know, people have short memories, and if things can be changed and a narrative is put in a certain way, and they, get the moral right, how they perceive the royal might to be, and when you have the social media networks behind you, and Christian Byrne libraries of books. Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying that they didn't. let me be clear. Yeah, Christopher Columbus is now canceled because heaven forbid, Well, even though we all know realistically that Christopher Columbus did not discover America, the Vikings were here way way before then, and and there used to be a land bridge across, so you know, yeah. But there's a lot of history that is, if it doesn't fit the narrative, it's dismissed. I can prep to those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. Yes, they are. Thank you very much. It's a great statement. And you are 100% right. And thank you very much for the donation. History repeats itself over and over and over again because people don't get it. They are easily manipulated, um, you know, and they believe what they're told by their governments. Whatever the governments are putting out there, they just go, okay, then it must be the yeah. Winners always no. Well, not only winners always write the history. Winners always write the history. You look at Rome, and I tell people all the time, folks. I say it all the time. The United States of America is the modern day Rome. And Rome had a great run, a fantastic run. They were the empire. But how did Rome fall? Does remember, besides years and years and years of wars, how did Rome fall? Does anybody remember? Rome fell because it ate itself alive. They destroyed themselves, and they fell from within. And in my opinion, strictly my opinion, that is what is happening in America right now. Right now. That's what's happening in America right now. They're looking for a scapegoat to blame things on. Everything is this, everything is that. And so who is the one they're blaming right now, right? And here, well, let me just start this over a little bit. Slavery has gone on for thousands upon thousands of years. Every race out there, every race out there has been involved in slavery. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Hey, East Tennessee Preparedness, read Fate of the Empires by Sir John Glubb. Okay, thank you very much for that information, man. I appreciate that. And thank you very much for the donation as well. If you study stuff, it is amazing what opens up to you, and you go, wow, that's interesting, right? The victors write history. Let me ask you this. If if Nazi Germany had won World War II, do you believe that possibly the history might have been a little bit different of what happened and who the bad guys were? You ever think about that? I want you to think about this, okay? United States of America, how do we start? We basically said we're not doing the 3% tax of tea increase on tea, the Boston Tea Party, and that started our road to being an independent country, right? But it was a small group of people that started this. What, less than 10% of the people said, yes, we don't want to be part of this anymore. We want our independence. We want to do our own thing. I think it was like 10%, if I'm not mistaken, right? So the rest of the people sat back and they just hedged their bets. Well, if Britain wins, then whatever, and if these other people win, then we'll jump in line and get behind them. Well, those other people won, but if they had been caught and they had been defeated, what light do you think Benjamin Franklin? What light do you think George Washington and the rest of the people? What light would they be in, right? Yeah, 3% tax on tea. Imagine if they saw our taxes today. Exactly. They'd be turning over in their graves, is what they would be doing. I don't know why my nose is running, but my nose is running, so I'm going to keep blowing it. So I apologize. Guys, we got 498 in the chat. We're at 214 on the thumbs up. So again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. And I appreciate that ahead of time. Also, again, it really does make a huge, huge difference with the algorithm. So the more interaction that we have, the better it is for the channel. And I do appreciate that as well. So, thank you for that. Yeah, Washington would have been called a traitor. Exactly. Exactly. But that it happens. But we won, so we get to write the history. And and here's the other part that I find amazing, amazing, right? So we actually went to war with Britain again. What, the War of 1812, right? Remember that one, right? So um, now Britain is one of our biggest allies. How crazy is that? Does that make any kind of sense? How does it go? How does that happen, right? So we have these other people. They're worse. They're terrible. They're horrible, right? They're the enemy. I don't know. I just don't get it. I did want to mention this, and I just something that I just recently saw that I thought was amazing. So they just got together, and this blows me away. Okay, blows me away. And I'm not going to take a side. I'm just going to share information. So I'm not going to tell you what my thoughts on it are, but I'm just going to share the information. So they just did this whole big climate summit type of thing, and what they're trying to do is they're going to do a tax on wealthy countries that they say are causing a lot of the problems with the planet, right? And so it is wealthy countries that have caused this problem, and so now they're trying to figure out exactly how much these countries are going to have to pay, and for this horrible effect that it's having on the weather that is causing these disasters around the world, right? So, and they use Pakistan. Was it Pakistan? Yes, with the floodings. And they said because of what, you know, uh, like Europe and the United States and and all that what we've done, we're going to have to pay these some sort of taxes to help out poor countries. All right. But here's a question that I have, and this is a legitimate question to me, in my opinion. Okay, so they were talking about the flooding and stuff like that, and how it was like 30 billion dollars in damages done, and all this type of bad stuff with Pakistan and everything like that, right? But here's a question that I have: the United States of America, what are we at? Three? I think we might be up to 340 million people in the United States of America. You have India, which has 1.1 billion. You have China, which has 1.3 billion. So China basically has us 4-1, realistically. If so let's call it 3-1. So you're going to tell me, and like I said, I'm asking questions here. So that's all I'm doing. I'm not saying that this is the case or that's the case, but you're going to tell me that our country of 340 million people is doing more damage to the planet than a country with over a billion people. Two different countries with over a billion people. But yet those countries don't have to participate, or China won't participate in anything, taking any kind of responsibility for anything. And that's okay because, oh my God, the UK, you guys are horrible. The United States of America, you guys are terrible. Canada, because I'm sure all those Canadians up there are causing all kinds of problems, right? Come on, really? And it's like, and people are buying this stuff and they feed right into it. And it amazes me. It's just, it blows me away. And so, again, that self righteous nonsense, in my opinion, strictly my opinion, where, oh, well, we have to do the right thing. Well, if we did the right thing, realistically, let's think about this. What would the right thing to do be? We have the capabilities of making sure that everybody on this planet could have fresh water, right? And if you talk about stuff like that, well, that's too expensive. We can't do that. But we can sure put in trillions of dollars into the war machine, right? We can do that. We can do that all the time. We have the technology that we could feed everybody on this planet. There is, when people say, "Oh, there's too many people," we got 8 billion people on the planet now. We got 8 billion people. It's way too many people. You could take all 8 billion of those people, folks, and fit them all into the United States and still have plenty of room. Okay, that's reality. That's reality. but they play these games constantly, constantly. And, the pollution, the way we're destroying our oceans, that is a problem. That I will absolutely say, yes, is a huge, huge problem. When the planet is tired of us screwing with the planet will get rid of us, and it may take a few billion years for her to heal, but guess what? She'll be just fine without us. You know, it just, I don't know. I find it amazing that people put more effort into naming their Wi-Fi than they ever did naming their children. Okay, you got me. I got to tell you a story, guys. You're gonna love this one. And this, I swear to you, on the lives of my children, this is a true story. So my first wife was also a nurse. Okay, and she was working at Genesee Hospital at the time, which was in the city of Rochester. It is not there anymore. But she was working in an office, and so they would have, the people come in for their appointments and stuff like that. And this is a true story. Now, first of all, I want you to think about this. So when Amy and I, when she was pregnant with the twins, we sat down, we figured out, okay, what do we name in these? If in the beginning we knew it was twins, but we didn't know if it was boy girl, two girls, two boys. Later on, we found out that it was boy girl. So we sat down and we figured out, okay, the boy is going to be named Eddie. There was never going to be a choice with that, right? And then we went back and forth with the girl's name, and we decided and settled on Heather. So this woman had 9 months to figure out what she was going to name her child. And so, did she influence you becoming a nurse? No, no. My first wife had no influence on that at all. I was working as a CNA already when I met her, Mr. Rose, and I worked as a CNA for 5 years, and then I went back to school. But all right, so this woman is 9 months pregnant. She's just gone into labor. They are wheeling her in to have the baby. She looks up and she sees a sign from God. True story. This is what she told my first wife. Looks up, sees a sign from God, and she named her child Nazmo King. Okay? So her child's name was Nazmo King. Why did she name her child Nazmo King? Can anybody tell me why did she name that child Nazmo King? Can you tell me that? I'll give you guys a minute to get your guesses up there, and then I will tell you why. We have a smart individual in the group here, guys. We have a smart individual, a few of you. The woman looked up and saw the no smoking sign, and named her kid Nazmo King. True story. Couldn't make it up if you tried. What kind of moron? And that's being kind on my part. What kind of moron does that? What kind of people are being bred out there that are having children that's how they decide the name of their child? Frightening. Frightening. Okay. So, but JJ just reminded me when he said that. Yeah. So she named her kid Nazmo King. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. So, yep, not a lot of planning goes into. No, no. Big Dog Ma says poor teachers in school. Absolutely not, Big Dog Ma. You know what the problem is? Poor parenting. Poor parenting. What kind of chance in life do you think that kid had? What do you think kind of chance? Because I'm sure Daddy was in the picture, right? I'm sure he was not. So, you know, there is no booklet when you have a child. There's no booklet. There's no thing other than your surrounding elders that are around you to give you any kind of guidance on what to do and how to raise that kid. Most of us are going into it blind, and we do the best that we can. So, um, but crazy, crazy world we live in. It is amazing to me. It really, really, truly is. But yeah, crazy times, crazy world. And you got to realize that a lot of the people out there are just. I actually, I'll tell you what. I look at things sometimes, and I look up. No, it wasn't because she was drugged up for delivery, Laura. No. If you haven't decided what your kid's name is before you have this child, I mean, what is up with that? No. So no, it's not because she was drugged up for delivery. It was because she was a moron to begin with. That's the problem. It's I don't even know what to say, to be honest with you. It's just most of the people in our country are just going along to get along, just doing, just skating through life with whatever help that they can get, whatever advantages they can get from that as far as from the system. All right. And did he grow up to be a chain smoker? I have no idea, but I don't even know, if the kid was still with his mom or whatever, who knows? But yeah, that was how they figured out that kid's name, or she did, because and there's more stories like that I could share with you guys. When I did my OB rotation when I was in nursing school, the number of these poor kids, and this is, and if you think about this, um, the number of poor kids that are born, and they're addicted to drugs because mom was a drug addict, got pregnant, and then did she stop using drugs through the entire pregnancy? Nope, she sure didn't. So they're born with all kinds of problems. The addiction, and it affects that child. It's just sad. That part of it is just sad. But they can go out there and just keep doing it over and over and over again. It's but there's a lot of people out there that I look at somebody. I've seen examples, okay, and I'm not going to name names or anything like that. I look at people and I go, how do you survive through life being that stupid? Realistically, I mean, I just don't get it. So my ex boyfriend was named Chris Carroll, aka Christmas Carol. Well, yeah, you look at all the hippies guys, and what they named their kids. I mean, you look at River Phoenix, Joaquin Phoenix. Their parents were, hippie love children. So they had. I mean, look at somebody what and Moon Zappa, right? There was what was one of the out there? They named their kid Apple. I mean, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I really don't. But I wanted to name my daughter Star. LOL. Oh, well, hey, did she? I guess she didn't get name Star. I guess your wife said no. I mean, there was a reason that we named Heather Heather, because Heather is very Scottish, and because my ex wife was, I mean, her father's name was Malcolm McPhail. You can't get much more Scottish than that. So yeah, Moon Unit Zappa, right? Yep, yep, exactly, Karen. Dweezil, yep. Well, that's an example of heavy drug use. Yeah, Michael Jackson. What do you name one of them? Blanket. Yeah, crazy. Joaquin Phoenix was originally named Leaf. Really, that's crazy. Yeah. Oh, his nickname was Blanket. Okay. Well, people are insane. You don't have to take any test to have children, and there's examples of American Indians named their after the first thing they saw after birth. Not always. They kind of develop names a lot of times because of what they were doing and stuff like that. But it's a different culture, Jay. That's a whole different culture, and if it's in the culture to do something, that's also fine. But yeah, it's just we live in interesting times. That's all. It's all I know for sure. So what do we got? 521 in the chat, guys. So before we do the egg count here, we're at 288 and a thumbs up. So again, I'm going to ask you really, really quickly to shoot a thumbs up for that. I do appreciate that ahead of time, and thank you. Also, it makes a huge, huge difference with the algorithm. So I thank you for that reason as well. And I appreciate that. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. All right, so let's go ahead and do egg count time. So, and while before, wait, well, I'll look on here first. And I got to grab my book because I did bring it with me. So, but we will do that in just a second. So, so get your guesses up there. And again, let's keep those thumbs up coming. What are we at? 300 right now. Let's set a goal just for fun. Let's say 400. Let's get to 400 thumbs up today. Now, we never reached our goal the other day. So, so again, let's see if we can blast through 400 today just for why not kind of fun. So if you haven't done that thumbs up yet, please do so, and thank you. All right. Give you just a moment. I already know the answer. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab my booklet. All right. All right. If you had the same exact guess is Sonia Klein with 2 eggs and no thick neck today, then you are 100% correct. And so, congratulations. You've won absolutely nothing. Gonna find my page here just to be prepared, sort of, somewhat. All right. There we are. All right. Oh, come on, no. And it closed up on me. All right, don't do that. All right, that's ready. So, congratulations, and yeah, they. I went out there today and checked on. I got to tell you this. So they've been, obviously regrowing all their feathers from the summer, and thick neck is looking beautiful. And so she likes to be up in a roost early. So she was already up and she was roosted. Well, we have boards up there, guys, because the reason that we don't have, like, a lot of people have like the circular pegs. Well, what happens with the circular pegs, if the chicken, here's the peg, and the chicken puts its foot on there and wraps it around, right? Well, what ends up happening if it's super, super cold, their feet can freeze. If you have a board, they put their feet on it, they squat down, and then they're keeping their feet warm as well because of their feathers and the body heat and stuff like that. So that's what we do. So I have boards up there for them to roost on. Well, she was already up in the roost, so I got the bag of mealworms out, and the first little bit of mealworms I took up and I set up there for her so she could eat her mealworms first, and then I gave mealworms that I spread the rest on the floor for everybody else. But at Waterloo, New York has no snow. Yeah, it just really depends. I know that they got. I mean, we got here 4 or 5 inches maybe here. You know, it was coming down pretty good when I came home this morning, and by noon it was done, and so that was good. But yeah, Buffalo got hammered. I mean, if you saw some of the pictures, it showed you couldn't even see the street because they hadn't even come down and plowed out the street yet, but they were like digging out cars, and the cars and other cars were absolutely buried, and that's what. Oh, I love living on the lake. Well, great. You live on the lake. Realize that you're going to get lake effect snow if you live in a northern country or northern state. Depending on what end of the lake you're on, like Watertown. I'm sure Watertown got hammered too. Buffalo always gets it as well. Different places because of the way the prevailing winds. The prevailing winds come from west to east. It's been that way forever. It hasn't changed. And so when people build in an area, and you're getting those winds coming off there, in the right conditions happen, you're going to get a ton of snow. And that's exactly what happened. And they got pounded. And, it's not like it's their first rodeo. This has happened before. And guess what? It's going to happen again. But I'm sure now, looking back, like I said, now I was in Buffalo as a child for the blizzard of 77, 78. I was there when that one happened, and that was wild. As a kid, oh my God, that's amazing. So Ryan Hall says after Thanksgiving, another big storm is coming. Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that, Jay, and see where that's gonna hit, what that's gonna look like, because I may want to get out of Dodge before that happens. So, but yeah. Anyway, my Newsbreak app was going nuts, so I stopped notifications. Huh, that's interesting. But yeah, it's just. But anyway, I was there when that one happened. Now I don't remember. I mean, I was, what, 77. I was 12 years old. I don't remember them blaming that storm on global warming or climate. So now the correct. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. I'm using the wrong terminology. So I'm sorry. I'm doing that. Climate change. Now it's climate change. So we can't got to blame it on something. But yes, the Edmund Fitzgerald went down during a nor'easter in November. It happens. You know, those storms are going to hit. It's not going to be every year, but it's going to happen periodically. And when it happens, it sucks. A lot of people are affected, and it's not a good time. But I like that, JJ. That's funny. I find it ironic that the colors red, white, and blue stand for freedom until they're flashing behind you. Yeah, right, right. Yeah, it is absolutely amazing. Never look back says BS. Climate has always changed, and it's always going to. If you look at the history, if you ask certain people, and this was what I find amazing as well. Okay, and I find this amazing because it shows maybe some intelligence levels, and I'm not, not judging, just saying. Geologists can prove that the planet has been around for billions of years, right? It's been proven. But if you ask certain people, the planet's only been around for 2,000 years, all right? So I find that interesting. Um, you know, if you look through when they do the ice cores up in like Antarctica and stuff like that, they can literally predict and show when certain events happen, like super volcanoes had gone off and what that did to the planet. I'm going to tell you what, at some point in the future, and again, I don't make any predictions of when it's going to happen, but at some point in the future, one of those super volcanoes is going to go off again. Guaranteed going to happen, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We are, as a society, are better prepared for that now. But the last time one of those super volcanoes went over, which was Toba, I believe 88,000 years ago, they said, and it has been kind of proven, that the world population, after Toba went, one of the super volcanoes, that the world population went down to 10,000 people. 10,000 people. Think about that. So at some point, those super volcanoes are going to go off. And those that are prepared are going to have a better chance of surviving long term. I want you to think about this, and this is a good example of now, like Yellowstone. They have shown that Yellowstone has gone off 3 times. Okay, so what happens if Yellowstone goes off? How will we be affected? Well, there's a kill radius that they have, and then you have it working its way out past that and how bad things would be. On the East Coast over here, like New York, we would be looking at 1, maybe possibly 2 inches of ash if it was a major Yellowstone eruption. Now, I'm not talking a minor one, I'm talking one of the big ones that they have, okay? We would be looking at 1 to 2 inches of ash. So you go, well, that's not so terrible, right? But because of so much material being put up into the upper atmosphere, within inside of 6 weeks, it would cut off the sun. It would cut off the sun. And within 6 weeks, you would see the plant life starting to die around the planet. And after the plant life started to die, who eats the plants, right? Chickens, cows, pigs, goats, all those animals eat those plants. And if you can't grow those plants, that's going to cause a problem. So now you're looking at a die off of a lot of wildlife. A lot of wildlife would die off. And a lot of people would follow suit because, again, they're not prepared. They're not ready. Now, as preppers, could we survive an event like that? All right. And that's a good question. That's a really good question. And the truth is, realistically, it would be very, very difficult to survive long term if something like that happened. But there is a possibility. Thank you, Okie Forge. I like that. Possibly, depending on how prepared you are, you would be looking at which is called volcanic winter, right? So you would be literally looking at 2, 3 years minimum of straight winter. And think about if you live in the Northeast, how bad it sucks to have 6 months of winter, because that's about what it is half the time. Think about how bad it would be if it was winter constantly. What would you do? How would you have to survive, right? So you need to think about those type of things. Now, I mean, planning for that type of an event. Oh, there is a point. No, absolutely, there's still a point. I'm going to tell you what. See what a lot of people really, and this blows me away. Oh, if something happened, I'll just give up because I don't care. Bull crap. Bull crap. The will to live, the will to live is so strong. It's so strong in humans that we will fight to our last breath to stay alive. Now, will some people give up and quit? Absolutely. They'll take the coward's way out by suicide or whatever the case may be. They'll just give up and they will die. You are correct. A lot of people will choose that path. But the majority, strong willed, strong minded people, there ain't no quit in people like that. So, and who survives those type of events? Strong will survive and the weak will perish. It's the way it is. The 10,000 that survived was at a particular location. It was all over the world, John. But like I said, there was, there would have been like small. I mean, the further away from the event going off, your chances of surviving would have been better. But there was not news traveling back then, so they didn't know what was going on or why the weather was doing what it was doing and that type of stuff. Yeah, Eskimos do it, Mary Taylor. You're right. So people will survive. They'll adjust, they'll adapt, they'll overcome. But you got to realize in a situation like that, you better have a large supply of food ready to go, long term food, that type of thing, to be ready to survive a situation like that. That's going to be a tough one to survive. So let's think about this, okay? Where's Yellowstone located, right? And there are a ton of preppers in Idaho, separatist groups, all that type of stuff, right? All up in Idaho and those areas up there. Colorado, there's a lot of them as well. Well, that's an area that your chances of surviving long term from a Yellowstone event are not going to be that fantastic. We would have a better chance on the East Coast here to survive, okay, because, we're that much further away and we're going to be affected down the road. If you live with, I think it was, within a 100-mile radius of Yellowstone, you might as well just tuck your head between your behind and kiss it goodbye. And then there's like a 400-mile radius where it would be pretty bad, But yeah, I mean, Frederick Nolan says underground greenhouses to grow your greens and barns for your animals. You would That's exactly how you would have to do it. You would absolutely have to do it that way. But volcanic ash, if you breathe it in, it is little particles of glass, and that will kill you. That will kill you. You're breathing that in, it will kill you. So those are things that people really need to think about as well. So just some fun thoughts to add on. I mean, those type of events, the chances of survival are not super high. But let's put it like this. I will put it like this. Um, if it is a Yellowstone event that happened, and again, it is a matter of time before it does. So it's going to happen at some point. I'm not saying it's going to happen anytime soon, but you never know. Okay. You know, those type of events, like I said, are going to be very, very difficult to survive long term. And so, I'm over 2,000 miles north of Yellowstone. Right. But what I'm going to do, like say Yellowstone goes off tomorrow, what's Prepper Nurse One doing? High speed, working, trying to get underground as much as I possibly can, getting the supplies that I need to shore up, get things squared away underground, because you're going to need to be someplace where you can survive that type of situation. It would be tough. I mean, it would be tough. And you would have to have some kind of air filtration of some sort to try to have fresh air. I mean, it would be tough, guys. It would not be a fun time in any way, shape, or form. So, something to think about. All right, let's do. So, since we're on such a positive topic, but underground is how you would have to really do it, and how big you had things underground. But it would be tough. It would be really, really tough. Even for, and we have pretty decent technology now. I mean, obviously, we can grow food underground. We can, you know, uh, filter the air, all those type of things. So, those are really good things. But again, it would be really, really tough to do. All right, shout out time. We're gonna start out with Icky Can up in Canada. I've been friends with him for a long time. Really, really good guy. JJ's going to throw his link up there for that. So definitely show him some support. Angry Prepper down in New York City. Jason is awesome. Think he's amazing. So definitely go show him some support as well. Alaska Prepper. Rudy is awesome as well. I would ask you to support him as well. You also have Alaska Granny. You have Sean James with the Sean James channel and My Self Reliance, two different channels, same guy. A lot of good information with him. Definitely check him out as well. North Shore Preparedness up in Canada. There is Corporal's Corner, Bjorn Hansen, 80K Man up in the Adirondacks. He's in the chat tonight, so definitely check him out as well. Show him some support. Bizza Jizza is also in the chat, and he got his next episode of the Carrington Chronicles up, so definitely check that out as well. You have Marfugal News with Adam and Dax out on the West Coast. I would ask you to support them. They're good guys. You have Magic Prepper in North Dakota. Wrangle Star, Cody's a good guy, really good channel. Been doing it for a long time as well. You have the Red Poppy Ranch. There's Survival Lily. You have Kyle's Cabin with Kyle and Sierra in Minnesota. And they're a nice young couple up there, so definitely check them out as well. They live off grid. You have Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, husband and wife team. Definitely check them out. They give a lot of great information. They split their time between Michigan and Alaska. You have Green Greg's. A lot of good information with Green Greg's. You have Southern Prepper 1 with the Boots on the Ground series. You have Gray Man Prepping. St. Bernard Acres with Joe. There's Doug and Stacy. Doug and Stacy's another fantastic channel, and definitely check them out as well. The Nomadic Movement down in Panama. Nice young couple down there. There is the Green Dream Project out in Arizona. Definitely go show them some support as well. You have Camping with Steve Wallace, another really good guy. And so I would ask you to check him out. And that's not prepping or anything like that. He just does stealth camping, and it's a lot of fun, and it's very enjoyable to watch. You have Bush Doctor Survival. There is Monkey Works, The Needy Homesteader. You have Boss of the Swamp. I've been following him long, long time. A lot of good stuff with him as well. You have Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Love Diamond, very, very smart individual. I would absolutely ask you to go and show him some support. You have Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. Definitely check her out as well. You have City Prepper. There is Lumina Acres, Suspicious Observer. There's Bear Independent. You have the Uneducated Economist. There is Bushcraft Bear from the Canary Islands in La Palma. So definitely check him out as well. Let's see, where was I? Mary Greeley News gives you all the updates on Yellowstone and all those type of stuff. She's really, really cool. Good stuff from her. You have Adapt 2030. There's Malachi's Corner. You have Ice Age Farmer. Ryan Hall, y'all, for the weather. Definitely check out Ryan Hall. Got a lot of good information there. It would be, he does a lot back for the community as well. So I would ask you to please support him. You have Russell Brand. And I like Russell Brand. Some people don't. But Russell Brand makes you think. And I think that is important that we should think and look at stuff and look at information and analyze it and make our own decisions, which I think is a good stuff. If you have all the information, that helps as well. You have Deep South Homestead. There is The Outsider, The Fit Farmer. You have Prep Rebel, Simple Life Reclaimed. There is Townsend's, The Prepared Mind out in California. You have Pinball Preparedness, who is in Tennessee. There's East Tennessee Preparedness, and he was in the chat earlier. I'm sure he's still here. You have the Economic Ninja. You have Little House Off Griddy as well, and they are also in Tennessee. So definitely check them out. A lot of good information out there, a lot of good channels. Again, I do believe we should be supporting each other, so I think it is a good thing. So definitely check that out. There's a lot of other channels too, guys, that I don't mention, but I can only do so many shout outs, so I try to limit it. Heather also has her Etsy account where she does jewelry and she also does cat hats. So definitely check that out as well. And JJ will throw her link up there as well. So a lot of good channels, guys. A lot of good channels out there. And so again, I do believe we should all be supporting each other. Uh, Heather was in the chat earlier. So where's Heather? Heather was stopped into the chat earlier and said hello. So what are we at? 367 on the thumbs up. So we're looking at 33 more, guys. 33 more to hit 400. 400 is a goal. So let's see if we can make that happen. Again, I do appreciate that ahead of time. Really does make a huge difference with the algorithms. So the more interaction we have, the better it is for the channel. So I thank you for that reason. Also, it makes a big difference, with the algorithms. So I appreciate it for that reason as well. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon to get all notifications. So thank you and thank you again. So that's where we're at with that. No, guys, you know what? There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot that we need to be concerned about. Are you getting the kittens? That is the game plan. I got to call Dennis, and and before I leave, I will hopefully be grabbing them, and so we will hopefully get them and bring them back, and or I'll stop over to Peggy's house and see if they're ready to rock and roll, and we'll just take them. So, but it'll yeah, I want to get them down to West Virginia to the new home down there, and we'll see how that all pans out. I think that'll be fun, and we'll get them settled in. So, and again, they serve two purposes. I love the companionship of cats. I think cats are amazing. They're awesome, and also, Ed, weird question: what kind of dishes do you use in West Virginia? No, that's not really a weird question. I use a lot of like plastic bowls, plastic plates, that, and there I don't want to use glass down there so much. I do have regular glasses, but I also have plastic cups as well. But it's just kind of easier washing everything up, and you have to worry about anything breaking and stuff like that. But that's kind of the way we do that. But hope your new kittens don't become coyote food. Well, I'm going to tell you what, with Hella being in the meadow all the time, and I don't think that they're going to be. I haven't really dealt with any of the coyotes. There are coyotes out there. I'm not going to say that they're not, but I haven't had any issues with any of those type of stuff. So But ask Heather if she has ever made a Harvey Wallbanger. I know she's made quite a few different things. So, Ed, did you see the asteroid that exploded over Niagara Falls earlier tonight? Only one site reported so far. I had not seen that. No, I did not see that. But yeah, Jerry Lee's around a lot too. I'll tell you. I'll tell you a funny story with Jerry Lee. So when we do our prepping get-togethers, Jerry Lee comes up and stays for the entire weekend because he knows he's going to get fed, he's going to get taken care of, and gets lots of attention. And he's a good dog. But what I've noticed is like he's out there protecting the property. There's somebody, one of the neighbors had stopped in, and he was out there and he was barking and letting me know somebody was there, which I thought was hilarious. And I'm like, I go out there, okay, Jerry Lee, it's okay, buddy. But he's like, yeah, he's kind of like adopted us in a way too. I mean, he goes home to his home, but he's a good dog, real good dog. So very cool. So what do we at 385? 15 more thumbs up, guys, so we can hit that 400 level. Let's see how far we can get up. We'll get up there first and see how far we can smash past that. So let's keep those thumbs up coming if you have not done so yet, and thank you ahead of time. I read a little bit about that asteroid. It busted up and splintered, scattered, the article said. Okay. Well, there was height of the meteor showers going on right now, and that's also something that's been going on forever and a day. So, that happens as well. So, all right, let's do this because it is that time. We are Legion because we are many. We are all over the country. We're all over the world. We are a huge network of people. We're a huge family. Where is everyone from tonight? So we have Tucson, Arizona in the house, Franklin County, Ohio, Nowhere, Oklahoma, from Okie Forge, Bumstead, Florida, Inverness, Florida with Clyde, Waterloo, New York, BC, Canada, New Mexico, Tulare, California. We have South Carolina, Northern Georgia, Union City, Pennsylvania, Central Kentucky, Maryland, Greenlee County, Arizona, Western New York, Erin, Tennessee, Clearfield, Pennsylvania, Littleton, New Hampshire, Fort Worth, Texas, Edgewater, Florida, Daphne, Alabama, New Brassfields, Texas, Indiana, Texas again, Fairmont, West Virginia, Connecticut, Central East Coast of Florida, Northern Georgia, Colorado, Birdsboro, Pennsylvania, Chloe, West Virginia, Lake East, Ohio. Scotland is in the house. Glad to have you here. Rhode Island, Central New York, Juliet, Illinois, Somersworth, New Hampshire, St. Augustine, Florida, Campbell, Missouri, Wisconsin, Cape Cod, Massachusetts, uh, Lake Skillet, Alabama, or Lick Skillet, sorry, Lick Skillet, Alabama, Santa Fe, New Mexico, Bevor, Missouri, Southwest Ohio. We have Central Iowa's in the house, Leesburg, Florida, Western Massachusetts, once again up in Massachusetts. So, realistically, again, we have what? Egg Harbor, New Jersey, Troutman, North Carolina. I mean, if you're looking at these names, guys, we are absolutely all over the place. We're all over the country. Got Belgium's in the house tonight. Glad to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Southern Indiana, North Central Texas. But again, all over the country. Yeah, no Philip tonight or Asif. Yeah, it happens. Got New Hampshire, but Cincinnati, Ohio's in the house. But yeah, it's like we're all over, guys. We're a huge network of people. We are the ones that can make a difference now. We can also make a difference in a post event because in a post event, we will be educators. We will be the ones that can really make a difference if people survive or not because we will be teaching them how to because most people have not a clue in the world. Central Iowa's in the house. Boswell, Pennsylvania. Very nice. So that's what you got to think about. You really got to think about. Do you want to be one of the ones walking around looking for somebody to take care of you? Or do you want to be one of the ones going, okay, listen, this is, I can help you out this way and show you what you can do to survive? I would rather be in that situation. Um, Did I miss the North Korea talk? I talked about it earlier, Ma Bear. Ma Bear. About the 10-minute mark on is when we got going on that. We didn't talk about it obviously for the whole stream, but I did get into it for a little while. So yes, we did talk about that. But we got Santa Cruz, California's in the house with Kathy. So yeah, like I said, guys, we just do the best you can. Continue to prep. Continue to get ready. We have no idea what is going to happen. You never know. Life is interesting, but the more prepared we are, the better off we're going to be when something does happen. Because here's the fact of facts: something is going to happen in your life that affects each and every one of us adversely. It could be a death in the family. That is an SHTF event if the person who dies is the main breadwinner. It could be loss of a job. She's a wildfire. Welcome to Moderate Preppers. Thank you very much for becoming a member. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Again, with the membership, guys, I do appreciate that as well. And another just a quick reminder: I'm doing my live stream tomorrow night for my hardcore preppers. That will be an hour and a half because of the problems and the screw ups and being so tired last Monday. So I'm doing an hour and a half for my hardcore preppers on Monday at 8 o'clock. If you would like to join us in that, you go to the main page here on YouTube, hit the join button, become a hardcore member, and you can join us for that chat. It's very personal. It's a small group of people. It's a lot of fun. They get a lot of information that other people do not get. They get information that a lot of you will never hear. So they're a special group, and a lot of them have been supporting me with that since the very beginning. All members of all levels of membership, I do appreciate the support too, and I did want to say that. Um, Ed, can you change the settings so we can gift hardcore memberships? You can't gift a hardcore membership. I can look and see. I will check that out. But yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. But yeah, I definitely yeah, Jeanette Humphrey, guys, she's one of my hardcore members, and she said we have so much fun. We do. We joke, we laugh, and we have a good time, and and it's a lot more personal, and I'm able to answer whatever questions you have in there because it's a lot less people, so that makes a big difference. So anyway, guys, I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job keeping the chat clean. It is very much appreciated, ladies and gentlemen, that moderate for me. Thank you very much for what you do. It means a lot to me. It really, truly does. Also, guys, I want to thank all of you for being here and the continued support through the years. I have some folks that have been following me forever and ever and ever, and it is a lot of fun and very much appreciated. Very, very much appreciated. And, hopefully you're enjoying the journey. The new adventures in West Virginia. Somebody had asked, and I did want to address this. They said, "Will I be taking all the dogs down to West Virginia?" Caesar and Pandora are going to stay here in New York. Hella will be wherever I am. If I am in West Virginia, she is with me in West Virginia. If I'm in New York, she is with me in New York. And it's just because of that connection that I have with that dog. That's why she's always with me no matter what. So just clarifying that the cats that are here in New York are staying in New York. That's why the two new kittens will be going down to West Virginia so I can have some cats in West Virginia. So see, and then the cool thing is because Steve lives down in West Virginia with me now, we're going to be able to, if I'm coming to New York, he'll be there to take care of the cats. So when I'm gone, and that's always a nice thing as well. So, all right. So blew past 400 with no problem, which I knew you guys had it in you. So we're at 414. So thank you for that support as well. Remember, guys, we are all in this together. We truly are one race called the human race. If we could ever figure that one out and treat each other with respect and dignity, we would be in much, much better shape. We have to stop letting them divide us over race, religion, political affiliation, the vax, the unvax. They're all tools used to keep us fighting amongst each other. If we could come together, we could accomplish so much, but they don't want us to. And who are they? The ones that pull the strings. That's who they are. Also, guys, remember, hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really, really important that we tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. And last but not least, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to accomplish, whatever you're trying to do, you can do it. There's only one person that is going to stop you from reaching your goals. That's you. That's it. Nobody else. If you continue to keep realistic goals, you can accomplish anything that you step your mind to. Set your mind to a realistic goal and then make it happen. And don't listen to the negativity out there and people telling you what you can and cannot accomplish. All right? I will see you guys all tomorrow. I'll see my hardcore preppers tomorrow. I will be seeing my son tomorrow as well, just to share that information. So I'm looking forward to seeing Eddie. And anyway, I hope you all have a great night, and I will see you all later. Prepper Nurse One out for now.